Ever imagine, like, your pet spilling the tea about you? Or your furniture dishing out gossip when you're gone? Today's deep dive takes us into the world of funny journal prompts. With Lestallion's 50 Funny Journal Prompts blog post, we're digging up some seriously funny writing inspiration.
You know what I find fascinating about these prompts? It's how they use humor to unlock that creativity. Like they're lighthearted on the surface, but they tap into our ability to find humor in any situation.
Oh, totally. Like this one. You wake up, but you can only talk in puns. I can already see the chaos and the comedy in that.
Exactly. Finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. Lestallion has this section, Daily Life Hilarity, and it's full of these relatable but absurd situations.
Like being a detective, but instead of like murders, you're on the case of missing socks.
The missing sock mystery. We've all been there, but think about it like a detective story. It adds a playful curiosity to something usually kind of frustrating.
It's like, what if there was a good reason for those disappearing socks? Makes laundry kind of interesting.
See? That's what's so cool about these prompts. They encourage us to find humor in everyday annoyances. Spilled coffee, awkward run-ins, and suddenly they don't seem so bad.
It's like laughter's the best medicine. Maybe finding socks won't cure a cold, but laughing about it's got to be good, right?
Absolutely. Lestallion even talks about how laughter reduces stress, boosts your mood. Maybe missing sock detective, IS therapeutic after all.
Okay, maybe we're not prescribing laughter yet, but thinking of daily life IS humor, that's a shift I can get behind. But Lestallion goes even further. We're not just observing the funny, we're creating it.
Yeah, the Imagination Unleashed section. It's stepping into a world where anything's possible, the sillier the better.
Right. I'm not just seeing my furniture, I'm imagining its conversations. What's my couch and coffee table talking about when I'm not there?
That's where it gets interesting. By giving inanimate objects a voice, we have to see things differently. It can lead to some pretty funny observations.
And maybe we learn about ourselves. What if my coffee table IS judging my coaster choices?
Or your lampshade's a secret dance critic. It's finding the unexpected humor, but using it to think in new ways.
Like tricking your brain into being more imaginative. Who doesn't love that? Especially if it gets a laugh out of you. Speaking of unexpected, Lestallion has us doing a bit of time travel, comedically of course, with prompts about our pasts.
Right. But instead of dwelling on regrets, the reflecting on the past edition prompts help us find the humor in those awkward, embarrassing, those moments that make up our history.
And let's be real, who doesn't love a trip down memory lane? Especially when you can laugh at your younger self. Lestallion asks us to think of an embarrassing school moment and how we see it now. What did we learn?
It's using humor to process those experiences. Finding the funny helps us reframe those cringy moments, learn from them, and maybe even help someone else feel less alone in their awkwardness by sharing.
Exactly. Those embarrassing memories become funny stories we can bond over. And Lestallion doesn't stop at the past. They have us looking ahead, too, with a whole section on future fantasies.
Which is so important, right? It's good to learn from the past, but looking to the future with optimism and humor is important too.
Absolutely. These prompts are about embracing the unknown playfully, recognizing that even in the future, we'll have moments of joy, absurdity, and laughter.
Exactly, and those moments are even more fun to imagine when you can laugh about them. Imagine hopping into a time machine that only travels to history's funniest moments.
Now that's a time-traveling adventure I can get behind. We've talked about finding humor in daily life, even like rewriting our pasts with a chuckle. But what about when the funniest stuff is the stuff we just make up?
That's where Lestallion's random hilarity section is just brilliant. It's like a grab bag of comedic gold. It reminds us that humor can be found anywhere, even if it seems totally random.
Right. One minute you're imagining what your cat would say if it could talk, and the next you're analyzing a cheesy commercial for comedic effect.
Exactly. It's about being open to those little moments of levity, embracing the absurdity, because let's face it, life can be pretty absurd. Sometimes laughter is the only way to deal with it.
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
But going through these prompts, it's clear that humor is more than just a coping mechanism. It's a tool for self-discovery, for creative problem-solving, even for connecting with people.
Absolutely. It's not about being a comedian or anything. It's about that playful curiosity, finding the funny, even when things are tough.
Like that prompt about your life as a sitcom. It's true, though. We're all kind of living our own sitcoms, just without the laugh track.
And sometimes we are the only ones who get the joke. But that's okay. It's about finding that humor, laughing, and embracing those unexpected moments.
So true. Well, as we wrap up our deep dive into Lestallion's 50 Funny Journal Prompts, What resonates most with you? What's your big takeaway?
I think for me, it's that reminder that humor is more than just entertainment. It's about growth, connection, resilience, giving yourself permission to be silly, to be surprised by the absurd.
For me, it's really that permission to be silly that sticks out. We get so serious about life, but these prompts remind you, hey, it's okay to play, to laugh at yourself, find a joy in the unexpected.
Totally. And sometimes that means getting in touch with your inner kid again, That wonder, the possibilities, we kind of lose that as we get older.
It's true, like giving ourselves permission to be kids again, even if it's just for a few minutes while we're writing. Speaking of, any of these prompts really grab you, make you want to grab your notebook and go?
Oh, so many good ones. I really liked that one about robots, but with personalities, doing chores and stuff, just like a fun thought experiment, tech meets silliness.
Right, like what if your Roomba was telling jokes while it cleaned? Suddenly, chores are entertaining. But even beyond the specific prompts, the real takeaway, I think, is how powerful humor is for creativity.
100%. When you can approach a challenge, even a blank page, with some humor, it opens up possibilities. You can play with ideas more, not take it all so seriously.
It's that saying, if it's not fun, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Applies to life just as much as writing.
Absolutely. So if anything sticks with you from our Lestallion deep dive, it's this. Don't be afraid to laugh. Be a little silly. Find that humor everywhere. You might surprise yourself with what you discover.
Couldn't have said it better. Thanks for joining us on this hilarious trip into the world of funny journal prompts. Until next time, keep writing, keep imagining, and keep those funny bones tickled.